Well, that was annoying. My first attempt at filming this ended after 6 seconds before I'd even started talking. So I was gonna go film in my neighbor's shed because we have coronavirus happening and I can't really film inside without bothering my family. And I can't film at the library because the library is closed. And yada 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 yada. So I have a list of books that I need to talk about. And then, first I need to double check and see that this looks okay, because I mean, I know the sun's like right there, and there's grass, and I just need to see, so let's get into it. Now, admittedly, the first book on my list I'm not talking about, because the first book is the book that's propping up my camera, and therefore I can't talk about it without completely losing my angle. So, squint at the sun. Good night. It's been so long since I was able to film these books. I want to say I read them like a month ago. It wasn't quite, I don't think, but it was a good while ago, and let's just dive on into it with book number 1 that I'm talking about, because I'm skipping book number 2 that I have on my list at the moment. Emberhawk by Jamie Fowley. This was an ebook. I got an ARC for it. I signed up with this review team to, book tour team to do reviews of it. And I was like, this was like early March I signed up. And I was like, okay, I'll think about this after Grandpa's birthday. Grandpa's birthday came, Grandpa's birthday went. I did not remember that I had signed up to do this. So I got this email saying, this is a first warning letting you know you have like a week to read this book. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have a week to read this book, I better read this book today. So I read Emberhawk all in one day. I enjoyed it. I did. If I remember correctly, let's see, it's a story about, there's like 3 types of people in this fantasy world. There's the island people who worship a water goddess thing. There's the I guess technically there's 4, but it's kind of 3, but there's 4. So there's the island people. There's the island people's mainland subjects who also kind of follow the water goddess, but they're kind of less, because they don't live on an island, they're less, concerned. And so, anyhow, they're the island people's subjects, and that's the main female characters. Then there's the allied group of people who, I forget exactly who they worship. Most of them worship the true God, the creator. This is a Christian fantasy, so obviously this is, the true God. So some of them worship him, some of them worship a fire god, I think it is. Anyhow, so this is book 1 in a series, and it was exciting. And just the day before, I'd been reading another book that I totally need to film about, which will not be going up for forever and a century. Anyhow, I was reading Emberhawk, and it's just like, oh my goodness, the characters were doing things that just drove me nuts. Things that were happening that were just driving me nuts. No one was telling anybody anything, and just, I was struggling, especially since the book I was reading the day before, I was loving it, because, the main character is just, the Chronicles of Fid, I was reading book 2, the main character in that book is just, he does things that's, he does a ton of things that are, like, super exciting, but he's never, I'm like, why is he doing this? You shouldn't do this. No! So, anyhow, oh my goodness, the characters in Emberhawk were just they weren't, asking questions. They weren't, telling, people what's going on. It was just really annoying, and it was a problem like all the way through. So I struggled more than a little with it, but I managed to read it one day, which was good. And so that's Emberhawk. No, it isn't. So, like I said, their allied people are at peace with the island people. Oh, I forgot to mention the powers. That was where I was going with these powers. So the water worshipping people, they are given water powers. They are able to, call up storms, call up waves, dismiss waves, make it rain, make it drought. So, and then there are a branch of the allied people are particularly known for having fire powers. And so the other main character, he has these fire powers, and he is very insistent because of how horrible the fire power people have a reputation of being. He's very insistent that he's not one of them, which, it means what it means. Interpret that however you wish. I'm not going to spoil whether he is one or not. Anyhow, so he's most insistent that he's not, even though he has these fire powers. So the allied people are very much afraid that they're going to start a war again, because, wouldn't you know it, the island people truly do want to start another war. So, yeah, that's the problem. So, he's going around and mapping out, the border between the allied and the island subjects, people. And, he stumbles across the main character's farm, and things happen. He gets temporarily captured, then he gets away, and she runs after him, and yeah, these characters are just driving me nuts, seriously. And then, oh my goodness, things happen, and things happen, and things happen, and all of a sudden, the main female character's whole family is back in the story again, even though she, ran away. And that's probably a spoiler. Anyhow. So, it's just really, really, really an exciting story, a fun story, but it kind of drove me nuts because, but I enjoyed it. But it was kind of just a Christian fantasy. I don't know, I read it too fast to gain many thoughts on it, and then my life's been a bit nuts at that point and other times. So I'll be continuing with the series, whenever the next one comes out. I'll, try and get my hands on an arc, or, maybe try and win a giveaway or something. So I'll be definitely, Jamie Farley and the Emberhawk, they're on my radar. I'm interested in, knowing more about this, but at the same time, it's not going to be on any favorites list, probably. I don't know. We'll see how the series continues. But right now, I like my characters to, make sense, and they are not. My goodness, there's so much background noise. Anyhow, so that's Emberhawk by Jamie.